All right, I've welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Tuesday, January 30th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So markets here, really just a pin job. So if we take a look at the SPX again, just pinned to 49.25. Thought there was a chance we could fade a little bit to 4,900. Definitely saw a little bit of weakness in semiconductors today, despite NVIDIA and SMCI. Speaking of SMCI, possibly a little Hall of Fame play earlier today. I did short this with members at 560 pre-market. I used to short parabolic names like this all the time. Haven't done it in a while. I've been saying to you guys to be careful here, but this is just out of control here. 30% above its 20-day moving average. There's a closing bell. This could fall 70% and be above its 20-month moving average. That's just absolute ridiculous stuff. I had to take a shot at this with a small position, and so far pretty good trade there. That was kind of the fulcrum of the market. I did say if this does go red, because it was getting close to that 5 handle, only 5-6 points away from flat. That could be a negative for the market. But, it managed to hold up by the end of the day, but still just way stretched here, way overextended. We do have AMD earnings coming out after the bell. I believe they don't report until, I think, 4:15, but we have Microsoft coming out at 4:05, I believe. So we'll see a big move there. So maybe that's out right now. We'll see Microsoft here. Yeah, that looks like they're out. So big move here from Microsoft already. So 4:13, so up about, so it's basically up to the pre-market high. So that takes you up, to basically the highs of the day. And we are starting to fade a little bit. So little dump action there. Let's take a look at Google, because they are set to report as well. I can't tell if that's out or not. It looks like that might just be an algo dump. I'm not sure what's going on there. AMD, I think, reports a little bit later. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes, but preliminary right off the bat, Microsoft, coming back to flat. There it is. Oh, now negative. So I'm doing this in real time here. Let's take a look at the NQ. So down just a little bit. Let's see SMCI just for fun. Let's see if it's getting a sympathy. Not quite yet. Well, they probably will off AMD depending on what that does. But either way, little pin job here today. You can see the market's just flat sideways. Pinned to 49.25. And again, market waiting on those earnings, waiting on the big stuff. The big guns coming out tomorrow. Yesterday we did get the quarterly refunding, essentially the estimate. Tomorrow we'll see, does that come out of the long? Does that come out of the short? That'll be at 8:30. And then, of course, we've got Jay Powell at 2 o'clock and 2:30. Everybody knows I don't need to tell you how important this stuff is. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't think rates are going much lower. You guys know my thoughts on that. There's speculation now that, again, looking at the QRA before, markets were at year-to-date highs, 52-week highs, when she started issuing at the long end, right? And rates were, they were climbing up, but they weren't that high. And then in October, rates were at 5%, whereas the spiders, the SPX is down at 4,100. Makes sense that a lot of that came out of the short end that time. So Yellen has said that she needs to issue on the long end one more time. Again, I'm not going to speculate on what bureaucrats are going to do, but it would make sense, at least from that standpoint, to come out of the long end while we're up at 5,000 and rates are off the highs. We'll see what we get tomorrow. Again, at the end of the day, though, it really doesn't matter. All that matters is the market's reaction. She can issue at whatever end she wants, and the market can go higher, it can go lower. So we just respect price action, and the same thing goes for Powell. I don't care what he says. At the end of the day, we just need to respect price action, and usually that'll steer you in the right direction. If we get a high volume sell, meaning over 100 million shares, then there is a top in the market. Until then, the market can go higher, and we could go up there and test 5,000 on the SPX. We are close to that psychological level, as I've talked about. A lot of the time, the market just wants to touch it or wants to test it. Also, times you could get a rug pull when everybody's looking at it. Again, maybe 49.70, 49.80, somewhere in that area. It's certainly possible. But right now, market's just a pause day here. Let's take a quick look at Microsoft again. So 404, so down a little bit after the close. And Google down. Google down $6 now. So pretty good dump there. Let's take a look. So that would take us down to the 20 DMA on Google. Wow. AMD not out yet. We'll definitely take a look at that because that's going to be important. And the NQ here, yeah, nice little dump here post market. And again, I noted that earlier today. Semis were weak and the Qs were weak all day long. You know, maybe a little bit of hedging coming on. Maybe somebody knew something about those reports and just wanted to get out. I mean, you know, look at the run we've had, right? So at some point there will be profits taken. But again, tomorrow will be the big one, and then of course we've got everybody's favorite, Apple, and then Amazon on Thursday. Apple took a pretty good hit today as well. That was weak all day long, so you're going to see that right there. Anyways, let's get over here. So quickly, again, outside of high volume reversal, my big level here for the market is 47.90. As long as we're above that on a closing basis, this is just any sort of downdraft is just a pullback and nothing more. And that's really all we need to know. So next levels here on the upside, I'd just say 47.50. There's a gamma level there. It's also a psychological level. Then you can go up in quarters, 49.75 and then 5,000. So we'll watch for that. One thing I have noticed though is then the Qs, a little bit of it's minor. It's only by a few points, but lower highs, right? So we have not made new highs with the spiders. Historically, when we do get topping formations, the Qs tend to top first. And we saw that in June. We also saw that in 2022, or I should say 2021 into 2022. So just some other things to keep an eye on there. But again, there's no damage on the charts just yet. But we're certainly going into multiple volatility events this week. And then we have the jobs number on Friday. So big data coming out this week. And it's important to just be aware of all these things. If the Qs do come in, again, you're fine as long as you're above 408.71, unless we get a high volume sell. IWM here pulling back. I said I didn't see much upside past 200, and I think this is going to have to consolidate if it goes higher, if it wants to go higher for at least another day or two. So this is actually something I was close to shorting this morning in the trading room. We actually shorted SoFi instead, and that actually ended up working out really well. I'm still leaving a runner in on that one. Nice play there. But in any case, IWM, I think it's going to need to consolidate a little bit further because I don't really see much upside past 200 at the moment. If it bakes in the oven a little bit longer, then it can go higher. But until then, I think it's going to be a little bit of a chop shop or under pressure. Diamond here continued higher today, up 31 basis points. JP Morgan, there's your culprit right there, up 2%. Why? Oh, because in a few months, BTFP runs out and Jamie Dimon's going to own every regional bank. That's my guess. But we did slice double top and made a new interim closing. Well, we did a new closing high and we didn't close above that pivot, but we did make a new closing all-time high there for JPM. So that did help out the Dow quite a bit there, as you can see. But Diamond here, again, can go to, we'll just say, again, 385 would be kind of your next psychological level there. All right, SMH, we talked about that, was down 1% on the day. Again, coming off the highs there, not a ton of volume. To say there's a top. The weekly, though, definitely looks like some distribution could be coming into play. So big tail candle with volume behind it. It's usually a sign that some profits are starting to be taken on this. We'll see what kind of pattern this puts in. Again, AMD, I'll keep an eye on that. If that blows out, then the SMH goes right back up. It's really that simple. So again, we're not going to make too much out of it right now, but it did pull back and definitely was on the weaker side today. There's the SOX down 1.5. IGV still held up okay. Inside day down just $2. That's fine. That can still go higher. Dow Transport's on the weaker side, right? So down 1%. UPS got smoked down at 145. I don't even have a good level for this. I mean, you kind of have like right here around 143. There's a gap, this breakout, green bar. I think it's better at like 136, 137, or even double bottom. I think it wants to go down there. Why? Because look at the volume. So UPS on the weaker side, but the transports themselves held up okay. Still have a bullish inside bar on the daily. There's no problems here with the DJT. So just so everybody's aware, despite UPS earnings. All right. Interest rates here, again, 2-year, managed to grind up. You still have a bullish inside bar there on the daily. And again, you can make a case it's trying to put a head and shoulder or inverse head and shoulder in play. Has not triggered yet. So we do not entertain it. We're just going to notice that it's there. And if it triggers, it triggers. 5-year, Fractionally lower again, same thing, pullback pattern. 10-year, same thing, pullback pattern. Although the 10's a little bit, again, so the yield curve's kind of further inverted a little bit today. As you can see, the steeper end came in. And there's the 30. But again, just pulling back to the 20. Look at all these moving averages here. There's no real problems here with the yields at the moment. All right, XHB. So XHB, another kind of inside day, up 9 cents. Let's not make too much out of that. That can go higher if it consolidates for a little bit longer. Well, I would say quite a bit longer, a little on the weekly. VNQ, same thing, below 83.24, I think it is. Yeah, 83.24 on a weekly close is a big negative, but until then, it's just holding up okay. XLF, a little bit divergent here from kind of the rest of the banks. That's why I like using some of these other, because I don't like the fact that Berkshire is the top holding of XLF. It's not like, if you're buying Berkshire, half of what you're buying is Apple. So how is that a bank? It's a financial company, I get it, but you know, XLF going higher, but you're going to see today KRE was red, down 21 cents. KBE, same thing. We got through that 39 level. We'll see if it closes the week up here, but going into a pretty wide range red bar. So there should be some resistance up here in this area. XLF is weekly overbought. It's getting kind of extended, but it can go higher if they want it to. But a little divergence there from KRE, KBE. They can still go higher and satisfy those price targets that I've talked about. Broker dealers are still fine. Again, I still think they're just still a little stretched on the weekly. All right, nice recovery today in oil, up 1.26%. Reversal yesterday and then right back up today. So good price action. I think if this consolidates here, you let that 20 MA catch up. This should get to 81.50. And then if it's strong, you can continue to 84.50 to 85. But you got a lot of pivots right here, and that's why it's stalled out. But I like the dip buy. It shows that the buyers are willing to step in here after just one day. And if it stays firm here, they should get to 81.50. So nice price action there. Also confirming that price action, XLE outside move up 1%, reclaiming the 200. Right now, you got a lot of resistance at 86, 100 MA. Look at all these pivots. Big reversal bar right there. A lot of resistance there. But good price action. XOP, good price action, up 1 3/4, back above the 200 moving average. A lot of resistance up here. So 140. Just be aware of that, but good price action. And then OIH, you guys know I'm in this, and I love what this did. So if there's, I was just saying to my members, like if there is such thing as a perfect red day, this is it. If you know my methodology, that's a test candle with volume. Why is it down so much compared to the others? Because Schlumberger reported, and that got hit down 7 1/4. But the dip buy here, I love that. So you got a potential for a higher low here, and this whole time we essentially have had lower lows hitting this trend line. We hit it, gap down, we put in a higher low, it can go through that. So I like the price action here that I'm seeing from energy, really across the board in energy stocks and in crude. I still have an upside bias on it. So you guys know that. Anyway, CCJ here getting a bid. So again, that drop and pop kind of set up into the 20, starting to work out. You have a little resistance around 49 and then 50. These are just daily chart levels. URNM drop and pop is working. That can get to 56 and then ultimately up to 58 and change. So nice price action there from uranium. Nat gas getting a bounce at that kind of pseudo double bottom. I think this gets a bid here. It does look a little exhausted on kind of like the H contract. So seeing, which is the front, seeing a pretty wide divergence there on the daily. So maybe a little seller exhaustion, and there's a giant gap to fill, which is a contract gap. But usually those tend to fill. Sometimes you get a little bit of a dip before that, but I think this level is a little interesting here for Natty. So anyways, dollar index, nothing's changed, right? Still hanging around 103.50. Up move sideways. This should get to 104.35. Nothing's changed. Gold had a pretty good dump earlier. Again, we had the jobs with the JOLTS data this morning. We got up to that trend line. Look at that, backed right off of that this morning. JOLTS data, it was up into it. Number was hot. We came down pretty hard. But again, big picture, this is still acting well. Silver inside hammer, not bad price action. So a little inside hammer, if that consolidates, it can go higher. I believe I talked about 20, we'll just say 24 even number. Right now you got some moving averages in there around 23.75. And then of course this trend line which goes way back to the highs, would be your next level for silver futures. Platinum, inside hammer, no problems, good price action. Palladium, basically the same thing on a smaller scale, down 70 cents, decent price action, needs to get through 1,000. Then copper here continuing to power up. So maybe it wants to get back up to that, $4 Pierce after all. You have a pivot right there, so just be aware of that. But we'll see if it can get back up to that red bar. It's a good 10, 12 cents away. I still think there's a chance this can come down one more time, but it's acting well right now, and we'll respect it. So Bitcoin here, no problems. Another green day, back above all 4 major moving averages. Again, I keep hammering on it, but it's so important because I'll say it every day, and I'll still see people make the same mistake. Bigger time frame is more dominant, and that's all you need to know. Plus, you had a 100 MA test into support. I don't know why people got so bearish on it all of a sudden. I don't understand. Anyways, let's take a look here. 415 AMD. Ooh, AMD taking a hit. That's down 10 points, or no, sorry, 8 points right now. Let's take a look at the SMH. Hit after hours, NQ. Now down 1% on the day. SMCI 506. NVIDIA, lower low down to 620. Interesting. So a little bit of a miss here. Let's take a look at Microsoft again. So Microsoft powered back up. And Google still down at 145. Let's see if Starbucks is out. Yeah, Starbucks is out. Starbucks up 2 points. That's no big deal. That's nothing for Starbucks. That doesn't matter. Interesting. So we'll see. I mean, this could change tomorrow. Of course, the conference call, stuff like that. We could be up tomorrow. But AMD right here. So this was the previous all-time high, 164.76. So we might even settle right in that area there. So nice little dump. You got your 20 DMA right down here. That'll probably get tested in the near future. It's just normal market action, and you're extended overbought. And again, this is what happens. I talked about this last week. When you're up this much into earnings, it's hard to wow the market. You're at an all-time high. You're up 100% in the last 3 months. It's really hard to wow the market when you've priced all that in. So SMCI, taking a look here, down to 510. So it's down a little bit after hours. NVIDIA's getting a little bit of a bounce there. Let's take a look at the NQ one more time. And so it's down 1% on the day. Microsoft kind of if Microsoft didn't bounce, we'd probably be down quite a bit more. Now Microsoft kind of coming back in. So we'll see where these guys open up tomorrow. But again, a lot to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow's video will be packed. We got the QRA, we've got the FOMC, so it should be a lot of fun. But again, give this market the benefit of the doubt until we get high volume selling or until we get a close below 47.90. That is, that's my master level, and that's how I'm trading this market here. So anyways, guys, going to wrap up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. Talk to you guys all tomorrow.